I've been looking for this thing for about a week and a half now, and I thought I lost it. This is the selfie stick for the 360 camera. I'm glad I found it. So I've been wanting a bike for a while. I had one a long time ago, but then when I moved, it never made the... Anyway, I used to love mountain biking when I was younger, and I've been wanting a bike for a while. And honestly, yesterday it was really warm outside, and it just felt like a good time to kind of pull the trigger. So I ended up getting a new mountain bike. It's honestly great. And one of the main reasons that I really wanted to get a bike is for the days that I'm not running. This is going to be about running. For the days that I'm not running, I wanted to still be able to do something outside, but something that just wasn't like as intense on my knees. So a mountain bike or a bike felt like a natural thing to get for recovery days. I think one of the things that I'm most excited about is being able to just get different kind of footage and really put this guy to good use. For those of you that don't know what this is a 360 camera or a GoPro. It's basically a GoPro, just a different company. I have this little mount, and then I have the classic FPV GoPro helmet mount. Very excited to try that. Alright, considering it is 12 o'clock and it's 71 degrees outside, I think I'm gonna go for a bike ride. Alright, there's a couple of trails that are by our house, and I want to go try those. I specifically bought this mountain bike for like off-roading, so what I'm gonna go do, or try to. It's a lot warmer than I thought it was. One thing that I love about running is just being able to like be outside and be in nature. And if you run, then some people can run every single day. I unfortunately am not one of those people, mostly just because my knees, I have something weird with one of my knees that prevents me from running every single day, but I still want to be outside and like be active. And a bike is something that I can totally do. I can still be outside, I can still cover good distances, because that's the problem with walking, you don't cover enough distance for the time that Anyway, I'm so happy to have a bike back in my life. Also, when we were testing the bikes yesterday at the Trek store, the guy was like, hey, do you want to go test these bikes out before you purchase them? And I was kind of like, nah, because up to that point, I hadn't been on a bike in probably 7-8 years. And he's like, well, let's go test them out. And he was persistent, and me being me, I was like, oh, okay. But internally, I was freaking out, because I'm like, I haven't ridden a bike in forever. Just as long as I go straight and I don't fall, I'll be fine. You know the saying, it's like riding a bike? Totally true. Like, I literally haven't ridden a bike in like 7 years, and after like the third pedal, I was totally fine. So I've ran down here. I used to run down here more, but I haven't been in a while. Last time I was here, the water was up to here, and now it's all the way back there. I'm told that they purposely drain it every winter, but to me, it seems like it's a lot. But I mean, I don't know anything about draining, so I'm sure it's normal. It just seems like a lot. You see this? It's a little hook for fish. All right, I think it's time to keep moving. It's crazy. One thing that I really do enjoy about like mountain biking or just trail running is like you have to continually be engaged with the trail, and like you have to continually be assessing like the best path. It's a physical activity, but it's also just as much a cerebral activity, meaning you use your brain just as much as you use your body. It's not like treadmill running where you can just zone out. And I think that's what I love about doing this stuff, because I hate just sitting on a treadmill or a stationary bike, and just waiting for the timer to be done. This is much more active, and I get to explore and wander too, so I think that's why I love stuff like this. And everybody that I talk to that enjoys doing it, the same kind of thing. You know, there's nothing like biking next to a lake or running next to a lake or anything. It's something that whenever we're outside of Nashville traveling, I definitely take it for granted. Like, we literally live like 5-10 minutes from the lake. It's an incredible thing that I try to take advantage of as much as I can. It's crazy. I mean, look at that. Alright, off the trail, on the road. I hate these wheels. That's changing today. A little foreshadowing. Did you know that you could schedule content on Instagram? It's kind of like YouTube, a little bit different. I don't think it's as streamlined as YouTube, but it makes such a big difference because I can sit here and schedule the next week worth of posts instead of having to remind myself I'm having to do that for TikTok, and I'm hoping that TikTok eventually will make a feature where you can schedule things, because it's just, instead of having to remind myself 4 times a day that I have to post something, I can just schedule a bunch while I'm thinking about it, sitting down, and not have to think about it for like a week. I actually showed Savannah, and we're using it for the company Instagram. So you're welcome, honey. We're in charge of making our own lunches. Savannah made tiki masala, some ethnic thing. I chose hot dogs. I think they're done. Some new ones. Actually kind of excited to see if these work or not. I got some for me and some for Savannah. Just have to figure out how to do this. It's kind of dark. Whoa. Oh, yeah. is what the old wheel looks like. This is what the new wheel looks like. Ooh. 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 These are so much better. When I was ordering these, I ordered me a set and her a set. Give me shit for it. And I told her, I don't want to order some after I order mine because you want some. And I think I was right. Savannah got it for me. The next segment is going to be for drummers, so if you're not interested in that, go ahead and skip ahead to the next section. This isn't going to be interesting for you. I got a question on Instagram, and I felt like talking about it and addressing it on here was appropriate. And that question is, when I tune my drums for recording, do I have a specific tone, or do I have a specific note that I go for? And the short answer is no, I don't. That doesn't mean that I don't know what the note range is for each tom or each snare. I do, and I think it's important to know that. That way you know where your drum performs best. But as far as having a tuner or a drum dial or anything like that and actually going for a specific frequency, I don't. And my whole theory with that, what I do is I just tune it to where it sounds good to my ear. And the reasoning for that is kind of simplistic, and I think it's kind of practical. You see, when you're hitting these or hitting drums, every time you hit it, unless you have lug locks on every single drum, which I do not, that's going to get slightly out of tune. Now, different drums will go further out of tune than others, and hopefully if you have a quality drum set, it won't make that big of a deal. But for me, I know that they're going to go out of tune, so I'd rather tune my ear to know when a pitch is dropping and how to fix it and how to get it back to the pitch that I like and the pitch that feels best to me for that specific recording session. And basically, I think if you're so fixated on a frequency, a number, or a note, then you kind of lose the art of tuning, because tuning is really an art. And that's why I've kind of always steered away from it, if that makes sense. So short answer, no, I don't. Now, I do think when you're learning that you should try to hit different notes, because that'll teach you how a drum works and how to tune the top head and the reso head so that they kind of work as a unit. But in the long game, or in any practical sense, I don't really think that it like everything else, doing that, it's just a tool. Like any kind of art, don't take any of the rules too seriously, if that makes sense. These wheels are so freaking quiet. Look at that. It's crazy. So it's supposed to rain maybe in the next hour-ish. It stayed consistently at 40 minutes, it's supposed to rain in 40 minutes for the past hour and a half. So I'm thinking that it may not. All that to be said, I want to go outside, but the weather's not great. I want to shoot something outside. So, in preparation for, just in case it rains, I'm going to bring this camera. This camera is weather sealed, but if the rain gets too bad, I do have a backup. Do you remember that Insta360 camera? Well, this is the just wide-angle GoPro-looking mount, and it's a little bit better with stabilization, and it's a little bit better in low light. So I think I can use this if I can't use this guy. Okay, I'm on the trail now. Did you see that that little tunnel? That's called, on the trail, it's called the subway, which is kind of funny. There's nobody out here, but the rain, it just went away. Like it hasn't rained and it's not supposed to rain for the rest of the day. Check out this little bridge. I was going over it and had to had to jump over that little guy. All right, gonna get back on the bike and ride that way. I just got done with going uphill. Now I get to go downhill. Is much more fun than going uphill. I'm so glad that I wore a helmet. I was on the fence about it, to be completely honest. I've never really been one for helmets, but the amount of branches and everything else that I've hit my head against, I'm really glad. Mountain biking's hard. All right. This trail's made me realize just how much of a of a beginner I am at mountain biking, which is totally fine. One thing that I've learned to do is really embrace starting something new. Like when you start a new sport or you start a new activity, you're gonna suck for a good bit. And that's just getting used to it. And that's something that I really honestly crave and look forward to, because that just means that you're growing. If you're uncomfortable in something, like I'm uncomfortable in doing the trails with the mountain bikes, not saying that I'm not enjoying it, it's out of my comfort zone, but that's a good thing because that means you're growing. And that kind of brings me back to when I started learning drums or started learning video. I was so intimidated and I wasn't comfortable at all. And that's purely because it was brand new and I was learning something that I'd never done before. I need some water. And I think a lot of times, I'm getting a little deep here. I think as a society, we quickly associate discomfort with something that's negative and bad, but a lot of times discomfort can be good because it means that you're growing and developing and learning new skills and honestly becoming a more diverse person. Now, not saying that there are some things that are just not comfortable, and that's totally normal and that's a good thing, but I think we err more on the negative side for discomfort than the other way around. All that to be said, I suck at mountain biking, but I'm so pumped that I do suck because that means that I have something to work towards and I have something to get better at and focus on. I also ran 8 miles this morning, and that probably wasn't the best because my body is just super tired. And with mountain biking, I'm quickly figuring out that you use your entire body, not just your legs. All right, I think I'm gonna go home now because I'm tired. Whoa, what is going on here? Well, we're headed to the Apple store. My headphones stopped, there's some problems with them, and we have AppleCare, so I'm going there in hopes of fixing or replacing these. I had to get gas first because Savannah left it with 30 miles in the tank. Alright, considering Apple's always been kind of weird with cameras and I want them to do what I want, I'm gonna leave you in the car and I'll update you on the situation when I come back. I hope you understand. So, we're back home now. When I went to the Apple Store, I expected one of two things to happen. One, they can't fix it and I'm just kind of SOL. Or two, they recognize that there's something wrong with them and they just give me a replacement model. Neither of those happened. Instead, a third option is what actually happened, which I didn't expect to happen in a million years. In hindsight, it makes sense. But I didn't expect it to happen. Basically, what they're going to do is they're sending them out for repair, and I'm without headphones for like 3 to 5 business days. Which normally, it's not a big deal in the grand scheme of things. It's totally fine. But you don't realize how much you use something until you don't have it. And I was just going through in my head what I'm not going to be able to do, or I'm going to have to alter the way I do them. I literally use them every single day. Whether it's listening to music, watching entertainment stuff, or making things and working on them, which is what I use them for most. Or if I'm being honest, playing video games. All that to be said, I'm going to miss them, but there was something wrong with them and the guy didn't know what it was, so hold that off. Anyway, I'm going to be without headphones for a few days. So I got this question on YouTube yesterday, I think, and I would take 2 seconds to answer it right now. It's a question that I've answered before, but since there's a lot of you that are new here, you haven't seen that answer. So that question was, hey, what cymbal do you have on your ride side on your drum set in your studio? And it stays consistent 98.9% of the time, and that's going to be the Zildjian K Constantinople medium low thin 22-inch ride. I love the cymbal, probably my favorite cymbal that I own, and the reason for that is I can use it as a ride cymbal, but I can also use it as a crash cymbal. And that alone is just, it's my favorite cymbal ever. So that's what I currently and always keep on my drum set. And if it's not in the ride position, then it's in a secondary crash position, or it's in this crash position. So it's almost always on my kit. I had to drop Savannah off. She's leaving, I'm not. Bye. She's going to a couple friends, like college friends' houses up north, and she's gonna be back on Monday. So until then, it's just going to be me, the cats, and that's basically it. Which is totally fine. Because I actually have some work that I have to get caught up on, and it's good. She's seen they've been great friends, and she's trying to keep those connections there. So that's honestly one thing that I really do admire about Savannah, because me, historically, I'm not the greatest at keeping up with friends, and not because I don't want to, the way my brain works, I focus on the task at hand, and I forget about everything else around me. Basically, for friends that are far away, if they're not right in front of my face, then I do a terrible job. She inspires me to do better, and I'm trying to do better at that. So today, I'll bring you over here. Today I'm shooting something that's not mine at all. I'm shooting something for somebody else. And it's in vertical orientation, not a horizontal. Making sure all my batteries are charged right now. It's mostly just drone, you, and the 360 camera. It's actually more than normal, but I want to get good even coverage because it's I'm literally hired to make a reel for Instagram for a clothing company. So my thought process behind it is to get a healthy number of like different looks and different cameras. And since I'm only there for 2 hours, which is another thing, I don't have a ton of time, I want to get as much as I can in those 2 hours. All right, that's charging. I gotta find the rest of the batteries. Found them. Okay, I have everything charging. All the batteries are charging, mostly just drone batteries. And I have all of the portable lights charging too, because I'm not sure what the lighting situation will look like. This camera's pretty good in low light, so I don't really worry about that too much, but I always like to have at least 2 lights just in case I'm in like a black hole and I need to light something. Heat this up like literally 4 or 5 times a day. Am I the only one that does that? Okay. It's been a couple hours. And now I have to leave in 10 minutes to go to the event. I have everything packed up in this bag. Gonna put these lights in here, bring in this tripod. I think that's everything. I'm gonna try to get drone footage, but I already have some, but it's supposed to rain and drones can't fly in the rain. So anyway, if I leave now to go 11 miles, it will take me 30 minutes, so. Okay, just like that, we're on our way. I changed my shirt because I feel like the brown didn't really match, and I think the white, I think it looks better, maybe. I don't know. I didn't have Savannah here to tell me what matched and what didn't, so I had to improvise. And just like that, it's starting to rain. Also, I don't know if I mentioned, but apparently they mentioned something about a valet parking, and I have to. That's what I have to do. I don't know anything about that or how to even do that. Apparently, it's supposed to be pretty. I might have to figure that out. Valet spot. I don't know where the valet is. Whatever makes y'all's jobs easier.
That way you don't have to like get back over anything.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it. Have a good night.
You too.
Okay. Now I gotta figure out how to get out of here.